Hello there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NLC Division 2. We're getting ready to go into our fifth and final game of the day. London United taking on Lightside. London United, as you were saying at the beginning, Oak, on a bit of an upward trend. How are we feeling about that?
They're doing it. That's all I'm going to say. They're doing it. Somehow they managed to pull out a finesse win last time. And again, especially against Lightside, who have been also on a bit of a loss streak. They've been dropping some games that we don't really expect from them. Last week, obviously, to Lucent as well means that I'm coming into this with backpack on, copium engaged. Like, I'm all tubed up and ready to go. I'm so excited for this game because I feel like, well, either we're going to get a one-sided stump like last game, or it's going to be an absolute slugfest, and I'm down for either. You know what? I'm ready for the 15-minute game. This is going to be it.
Yeah,
I'm not, but I am.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty hungry. But no, if it's a good game, a good 50-minute game, I'm chill. I'm totally chill for that. But we'll see. It's all to play for though for the side of London United. You know, I think with the fact that Guap found that win, I don't think it's possible for them to get out, unfortunately, unless actually, no.
In my respects.
Hold on. They win this game, they go 5, 6, 7. Okay, so technically they can tie with Guap if Guap lose all of their next games and London United then beat Guap. Oh no, sorry. Then yeah, they tie with London United win every game. Guap have to lose every game left. Then there's also I don't know what the head-to-head looks like, because if the head-to-head favors Guap, then it's doomed anyway. So it's 1-1. So in which case, we'd have a tiebreaker between them. There is a world where they can avoid relegations. But if
Let's
they lose this game, it's doomed.
London
If they lose this
United
game, it's doomed.
represent. Nah. Represent. So the first mistake London United made was not banning Corky and Seraphine. Lightside ended up doing that. So they probably won this game off that back, to be honest, because nobody ever wants to see those in League of Legends ever again.
Yeah.
And because of these bans, especially that Karma being banned away, immediately the Wukong first pick comes being, we're back on Comfort. And even on 12.12b, where Wukong's still been nerfed, still pretty potent. Gank opportunities, especially post 6, are oh so strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Diana gets locked in, followed up by a very quick lock in of the Zeri. And
read this.
I mean, like, Yuumi Zeri, Yuumi Diana. Jesus, you don't want to let that go over. So London maybe wanted to lock the Yuumi in, but then they got to figure out what can go with that Yuumi in the bot lane. We'll have to see what this lock-in could be. I mean, there is still the Lulu as well as an option for Zeri.
To be honest, this is like immediately like this is a draft that's been prepped, because as soon as the Wukong came in, immediately these two got locked in. Zeri having the space to be able to deal with the clone semi-effectively, because obviously she can aim her auto attacks, which means combined with the ulti, she actually does a fantastic job of kiting Wukong to the point where he can't get his second cyclone off, which can be really, really important in some of these fights for ensuring that as soon as that Wukong's off your carry for the second spin, you get the opportunity for Diana to play her game and start the engage. Now, immediately, Ezreal and Swain locked in for the return, and Swain, Something Star just played the split already. It's blind and it's into Diana and Zeri. I'm interested to see how it scales into some of these team fights, because especially against Zeri, move speed starts ramping up, and I can kind of see it becoming very tricky very quickly.
That just got locked in. We got the sad mummy.
Okay. That's also very likely going to be a support pick, because Diana was being flexed into mid lane, most likely going to end up in the jungle, which means this Amumu is within support. Trying to think. So one of the best advantages of Amumu support is that Banish Toss, after his like mini rework where they made it so he can Banish Toss twice, you walk up to Ezreal, Banish Toss, you miss it, he ease away because, you know, that's what he does. And then you Banish Toss again for the follow-up. It was one of the first kind of things people started working their head through. In tandem with the team, though, Curse of the Sad Mummy combined with that Moonfall, one plays off the other so well. So now you have two different avenues to be playing for that initial team fight. It gives so much space now to go, okay, we can itemize into pure damage within mid lane, within top side.
Yeah, and also keep in mind there is that flexibility, so you still could go for an enchanter bot lane, but I do think that you're probably right. I'm curious to see if this is like Swain support or Swain in lane. Well, I mean, he's in lane either way, but you know, an actual like carry Swain. When the durability patch got released weeks and weeks ago now, I don't know why I'm still harping on about it, but it was one that we did see.
Still important.
Swain really came alive. He was someone who started to get picked up. Remember, he doesn't, when he pops, the ult still stays on him for a bit afterwards as well. So you get that kind of burst, but you get the sustained damage out of it. And we now get it guaranteed that is going to be Diana in the jungle as the Azir gets locked in here for teases. And now I'm curious what the response is going to be here from the side of London United. Are they going to be putting this Swain in support, or are they going to be putting him in that mid lane or top lane? Well, that Wukong still very flexible as well. Looks like with this Braum hover, and I can't pick Braum, right? Braum and Ezreal's not a particularly amazing duo.
It's okay. Ezreal can use his Mystic Shot to proc Braum passive, and it's a very secure lane as well. But yeah, I was going to say topside lock-in's probably very common. NBZ, Bear Tree even. Oh, it's on the other side. A lot of Aatrox played, so the Nars definitely maybe a takeaway from NBZ because that is his most played champion, and also it's just such a security pick. When you pair it up in tandem with Wukong, suddenly there's engage on engage, and that's been the name of both sides so far. So really, this is going to become very quickly a game of who engages first or who engages cleanly. I am surprised, so the Braum does get locked in as well. So yeah, as you mentioned, maybe not the strongest lane, but disengage opportunity, safety lane, paired up with the Swain, a lot of space to be given.
Okay, so it's the Olaf lock-in final. I actually thought that Aurelia was coming out, and I thought we were about to be Sunfire Gaming. I really thought we were Sunfire Gaming there, but no, it's going to be the Olaf in the top lane. Another champion who obviously got some attention recently. He now has that shield on him. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying this. You all know this now. It's been a long time, but I'm curious what you make of these lanes.
Then the notes is that he got nerfed last patch. I guess technically last patch. He after his rework, they immediately nerfed his W and his E to kind of reduce his like overall sustain and dueling power. They're buffing him again next patch, but right now he's sitting at pre-buff power, and so that's why he's fallen off a little bit on some people's radars. And I think we'll see him see more priority again when they rebuff him. But specifically into how this lane functions. One of Nars' big weaknesses is consistent chase down and like DPS. So that's why Irelia is really good into him. That's why the classic counter was Yasuo.
Yeah,
throws a Q at you. You're slowed eternally. You're slowed even more. He runs you down. He functions very similarly.
I mean, luckily the Yone and the Yasuo were both banned away, but unfortunately the Zolaf did come out. I'm going to be excited to see how this game goes down. It's been a long old time since I've seen the Moo support. I do like, obviously, the Curse of the Sad Mummy applies that passive, which means that you do take less, what do you call it? Less, you lose magic resist. It's a magic shred, which means that Moonfall also very easy to set up. Everyone gets pinned in place, pulled in with magic resist. Pop goes the Weasel. Azir shuffles everyone out. Wombo combo wise, Lightside have a terrifying team. I think that Wombo combo is really horrific.
I think it's really cool that you highlighted this Amumu having that true damage bonus as well, because as mentioned, like look at the myriad of magic damage they have on the team. Zeri's also hybrid magic as well. Like it's really important to be noted, especially considering Amumu can also itemize into a few MR items that actually benefit that even further. In return though, I'm a huge fan of Swain. I really like Swain. The way he's slotted into this comp as well means that he's going to be... I'm pretty sure it's a good matchup for Swain into the Azir lane, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that one.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a mid laner, but hell if I know. I've not seen this matchup.
Once team fighting starts, you're right. The initial engage tools from Lightside are very potent, but there are two people who can itemize into Zhonya's. There are two people who can itemize into GA and Stopwatch. So... those can be such fantastic turnaround tools, and we've already seen them be utilized very well from Domino, from the natives. And yeah, that is don't like that skin. I'm not a fan of Amumu. He's so creepy, man. What a little weirdo.
I love Amumu. That waddle was brilliant though when he sped up, because most people have like a hasted animation. He just waddles. He just waddles quicker.
See, he asked why nobody wants to be his friend. I already know the answer. Because he's weird. Nice. He's a weirdo.
He's a lovable rascal.
Not like everybody else.
Is he a yordle? Or is he...
yeah, he is. For sure.
He has no lore, our producer said. I thought he was a yordle.
I think his lore is that he's Curse for the Sad. Everybody's seen the Amumu. If you guys haven't seen the Curse of the Sad Mummy music video, you should watch it. Really cool fact about that. They were meant to get a singer on to sing the song, but they were unavailable. So the guy who directed the like was orchestrating a lot of the music and ended up singing it instead. And his voice is amazing. I don't know why
His
they just
voice,
sent him
that
initially.
is honestly one of the best songs they've done for Riot. Like Riot have done a lot of good music, but like Curse of the Sad Mummy actually slams.
Yeah,
It's
their
such a good
orchestral
song.
music is top notch. Like there's in the first Pentacle album, one of my favorite songs is Orb of Winter. Like it's a orchestral ballad. It's amazing. And the same with Curse of Sad Mummy. And do you know why? It's a little hack. Anybody wants to do orchestral music, just use loads of cellos. Like cellos bang. I'm
Well,
telling you,
I think they're
cellos
a
are
wind instrument. I don't think they're percussion, mate.
cellos are might going mad. No, cello is a
Oh, it's a string instrument.
string
isn't it?
instrument.
Yeah.
You made me doubt myself.
Well, you're still wrong. They're not percussion, so they don't bang.
Oh, that's a bad joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, we actually really haven't talked about the game too much, so we can run through briefly how we think these lanes are going to go. Because whilst we're hosted around this bot side now, Zari is tricky to make function in lane with aggressive trading, which means that while she necessarily doesn't lose a lot of lanes, since she can handle aggression fairly well, she finds it really hard to aggress on her own, and it means she can miss a lot of timers in terms of when their support wants to go in. Combine that with Amumu maybe not having the strongest lane and playing into Ezreal Braum, I really feel like this bot lane is just going to be trying to farm as much as possible, which is what Rusty, Sniper, and Buzzy are going to be doing as well. This is going to be a sleeper lane. So we should move directed cam up to top side. There we go. Well, good timing, because this is the matchup that I'm going to be watching, because I feel like NBZ is going to be trying to push every advantage as much as possible to try and find space within this lane. I say that as he's just
it's at that point as well. Luckily for Beartree, well, the Ragnarok isn't actually a thing, so at least these queues still slow. So Beartree has, some flexibility in these fights where he's not just going to get immediately jumped onto. Tease is actually losing pretty hard here in this lane. I'm assuming that's from him taking a claw. I don't see how else he would have lost that much health to Sarge here.
So the real reason I think that Azir loses his lane is because his trading pattern is hit the Q auto once or twice, and that happens to be at the perfect range for Swain to hit his E. So but that's really how the entirety of the Swain lane works. If he can't hit his E's, he loses lane. And yeah, there you go. Bit of a flub there. Doesn't end up finding a successful trade, but oh my god, no way this works out.
Walter does a whole lot of damage to Teases, and this is actually just going to give Sarge a really free reset. Teases does have the teleport though, so he can kind of clear this wave out and reset himself, but even so, not being able to reset on your terms and kind of in those suboptimal positions isn't always good, being forced to burn that teleport, because now next time around, Teases is just going to have to walk, and then he loses farm, then he loses out even harder.
Yeah,
so
and one of the best ways
come in.
Yeah, one of the best ways you can really win a non-TP lane without burning combat summoners is by expunging as much mana as possible to get the shove in. I say, look for the fight here. Is this going to work out? I don't think so. Yeah, you expunge all your mana in return to get wave shove. You reset, immediately TP in again, and then you just keep shoving waves. And then Sarge would get completely locked out of lane. He doesn't get to do that there because Waldra has the foresight to move towards mid lane and get the wave shoved first. Very good.
Well, Teases does teleport back to the lane and starts to set himself up for a bit of a push, but he needs to be careful, because if that claw hits, it is going to be really problematic for Teases. Now that it's down, that's when he can kind of win the trades, like you're saying.
Yeah.
If you're in range, you got to be careful, but once that claw goes down, send your soldiers forward, get a bit of a poke off, and slowly sap out the lane that way. Although Swain does, have a fair amount of sustain in him. And there you go. Bam. Teases is going to be able to kind of get the extended aftermath of the trade in his favor.
Yeah, and going Conquer as well is only going to benefit that, because up until Sarge gets his ultimate, he's not going to be proccing Conquer in any of these trades. Now, real benefit of Azir, and one thing I really wish teams did more, is that your Dragon DPS is so high, we've slotted into an Infernal Drake as our first Dragon of the game here. So there's potentially an opportunity, especially if Moxox is able to get a semblance of wave control, for them to look for an early Drake here, because whilst Ezreal Braum does a really good job of being a safety net for a lane, and the skirmishes, I actually, to be fair, with the Wukong, skirmish power may be quite high, so maybe we'll see no Drakes within the early. That's what I'll say.
Okay. Nice guess, I guess.
I just turned it completely on its head.
What can I say? Well, I don't have a follow-up on that, homie.
No, it's okay. It's my fault.
Gold right now, fairly even, and this has definitely been one of the more quiet early games we've had all day long. We've had some pretty crazy games as Sarge is burning down to the Ignite, just able to survive as Woljo makes sure that they are going to be A-OK. And that was a nice little roam there from Zvene.
Yeah, Amimu, whilst lacking in maybe lane assets, still a jungler by day trade, you know, able to pull off ganks very easily and burning both sums from Sarge right on this level 6 timer. So important, because that's really when Nazir gets, or Swain gets the space that whenever he sees that Q, it's like, okay, I can actually aggress now, maybe look for an all-in, and taking those away so important. Oh, Ragnarok.
Well, this is close, but Beartree not going to get that last axe off, and MB's not going to get that last axe off, and he's going to be sitting quite pretty. He's able to sustain up somewhat. He's got those biscuits. He's got himself the Doran's shield. Beartree does eat a bit of damage, but now they're jumping in, looking for the kill. Beartree gonna dodge away. Bambi's making his way forward. Beartree needs to get the Narbar up as quick as possible, but I don't think he's gonna get it up in time. Peasy now levels up, so Beartree loses even more health to another axe. He's about to Gnar out, though. It's so close. If he can get the Gnar off in time, he's gonna be okay, and it looks like he's gonna be able to. He eats another axe, and Beartree just about able to survive. For Sarge finds out onto Bambi, goes for the Demonic Ascension, misses out on the claw as he's trying to get onto Bambi. Teases, makes his way open, and the pop comes down. It could be detrimental here to Bambi. Bambi's not level 6. The claw lands, and down he goes. Bambi is going to get popped. First blood over to Sarge.
Oh, and a bit of mistake from Teasers there, not immediately propping that Emperor's Divide is the downfall for Bambi there. A kill gets found, no less, first blood going straight onto that Swain. Remember, we talked about this. Summoners down on this Swain. We thought he'd be playing within deficit. Instead, he finds first blood and a huge win, basically out of nowhere for London United. From deficit.
That was a nice one there for them. I don't understand how Beartree survived for so long. He played that really, really well. He was threatening constantly by building up that Narbar to the point where he was going to be A-okay. He was going to be safe there. Sarge, now with that kill in his pocket, I don't know if he's actually been back to base yet. I didn't pay attention to what he had when that fight started.
Not reset. Yeah, he had a wave to catch. So remember, even with that kill being found, he actually got choked out of quite a lot of CS from that rotation up to the top side. So he's going to be locked down in lane a little bit longer before he gets the reset and he can actually spend that gold. And you can see it there. I think production briefly popped up the gold, but sitting on 1,200 gold at the moment.
Yeah, so it seemed pretty comfortable on that front. Should be building towards, I believe it's Leandri's this build. Again, been a while since I've seen it. I know that this was like a build that we were seeing for a while.
Sometimes people opt into Everfrost. I'm not a fan of it, but we may see that this game.
Actually, he's got Ruby Crystal. It might be Everfrost, unfortunately. For you?
I won't.
I don't mind both.
We will comment on it when it comes. But into Amumu, probably a Sunfire Diana. Yet we see the Balmy Cinder being purchased, as well as an Olaf. I feel like Leandri's has a lot of value here. But again, we'll comment on it when it comes.
Yeah, we have a bit of time until any of these items started coming. Dragon hasn't been touched. We're 10 minutes in, and gold lead marginally in favor of London, but like realistically, not too much has gone down. It's been a very quiet game. Sniper actually jumps in, gets himself caught out. The curse of the Sad Mummy goes down, but that Unbreakable is not going to do diddly squat. Zene locked down in place as well as Mosok, able to just get away with that. That was very hairy.
A pretty big win for Lightside, because they managed to pull all jungle pressure down on bot side. They don't burn the Cyclone, but they get that 1-for-1, and that immediately means Bambi is looking towards Herald as the next objective for them. And maybe that blue ward is going to spot that, so they're going to immediately rotate to Drake in return. And it looks like kill for kill, objective for objective. There's always a trade to be found on the map.
Yeah, the question is how do you use this, Herald? Where do you use it? Because it's a good objective to get. The Dragon, sure, it puts you closer to the soul, but this one is the one that has immediate benefits right now. Yeah. So the question is where you're going to use it. Who do you want to try and put ahead? I am
honestly, I think getting
mid again.
Yeah, exactly. Top. As soon as no, you're completely on point, because Sizz until as soon as he gets level 9, max points within that queue, that's really when this lane starts to become more threatening. You can see here. Repeated wave shoves coming in. If you combine that with a little bit of pressure from Sven, and oh, look at that, he's already on map setting up vision to make sure that Azir can repeatedly play this aggressive in this lane. You can force CS deficit like he's already done this game thus far even further. And if Bambi's able to pair up with him in tandem, they can look to maybe get some plates, maybe even a first turret if they can pick up second Herald as well.
Beartree actually did a fair amount of damage to that first Q. Didn't actually land the second, but definitely something to kind of keep in mind. Bambi, though, on this kind of mid to bot side right now, just clearing out the Scuttle Crab. I would like to see him come into this mid lane. He's going to clear this out, move over. Woljo May just make their way over. They instantly jump in. They're going to go for the shuffle onto 2. Not them both back. The Teasers has to flash away over the wall. Sarge tries to go pop. Gets himself the vision of the Empire. Bambi jumps in with a move. Oh, Wojo able to survive. Bambi gets caught out as well by the claw. Maybe one more jump forward could do it. Gets himself the Q off. And the Crescent Slash able to find himself the kill as Mojok's now making his way forward. In comes Vene. Curse of the Sad Mummy up and available. If he can find the opportunity to get it, it could be huge. But they're underneath the tower. They don't want to risk it, and it should just be a herald and a bunch of plates here in the mid lane. As actually Zvene catches onto 2. Look at the turnaround. Sarge goes down. Zvene flashes over the wall to safety, and this might just be the tower.
That's 4 plates going over as well. What a huge play from Lightside to continue the pressure up. And I think Zvene looks exceedingly comfortable on this Amumu. Something of a question mark for us within draft was how this Amumu would slot in with the team, especially its laning phase. He's made it work by being on map first, on map as often as possible, and using this Curse of the Sad Mummy to continue these fights and find extended kills. Phenomenal.
Really, really nice stuff. It's actually Beezy trying to fight Bear Tree, but Bear Tree is going to be a-okay and able to walk away from that. Actually, he walks away winning that trade. 4 plates in the mid lane. A lot of that gold given over to Moxox as well. So he's now got himself the the shield bow finished up. And Luden's Echo now onto teasers as well.
Yeah, cool to see items finally getting picked up. That Rylai's first actually from Sarge was really clutch for them to even find that first kill within that. But I think unluckily used that E to pull in Bambi, and that's what led to the return kill being found before eventually Lightside continued the fight. Yeah, items being picked up because of this Essence Reaver from Rusty means we're probably going to be opting towards either, I mean, Prowler's Claw is a common one, but it's either that or the Eclipse, which means a more damage orientated Ezreal build, which makes sense considering how slow team fights would be otherwise.
Looks like Beartree just getting Wojo, making sure he's in the area in case anything does happen. He just wants to shove this wave in and get himself a reset off, or maybe a plate here.
He's the only lane that's shoved right now, so it's kind of up to his jungler to hover topside because he's the only one vulnerable to Bambi if Bambi was clearing towards topside, even on that side of the map. That's where his eyes would default to. Luckily, Bambi's clearing towards bot side, which means that his next area is going to be looking towards his bot lane. And we've already seen that the Curse of the Sad Mummy function very, very well before. We're going to see how they get to play through it again.
Beartree just popping back one more time, and it looks like maybe setting up Rusty Sniper. Does need to be careful. There's a lot of damage coming out from that E. Is Vision of Empire looks to catch on to multiple people. The Claw just about dodged away there from Motsox. If this could be the opportunity. What a wombo! Everyone is caught! Motsox just walks through! That was a slaughterhouse of a fight!
Absolutely out of nowhere. We get the replay immediately. The 4-man's Emperor's Divide. Beautiful slowdown comes here to tandem with every single ulti. I mean, even Rusty tried to flash out of it, but buddy, it's too late for you. The game is already over. They find the 4 kill.
That was unbelievable there from Lightside.
You didn't even see it coming. It was a split-second decision, which pays off perfectly for the team as they immediately find that secondary kill.
That is a massive, massive, like, just nod towards the Lightside for how well that communication was. Because anybody else does that, you're half a second off. That doesn't look anywhere near as clean. Someone might get away. Teases goes down. Doesn't matter. He immediately jumps in. Zvene is on the same page, and then from there, it's easy for the rest of the team to follow up. They can have that little bit of a brain lag because those two abilities landed back to back, and it was just an easy mop-up of a fight. Yeah,
I think Teasers was going into that engage as well, knowing that he might die there. You saw how low his HP was. He was already understanding, I might die for this play, but it's going to be a successful play nonetheless. And that's really the kind of play that splits apart top ladder and bottom ladder. Shows his head there.
Now, it does give a good gold lead over, but they didn't actually get any objectives off that. They didn't get tower. They didn't get, like, they didn't get mid tower. They did get mid tower, but I don't know if that was just passive because it was already chunked. They didn't get bot tower, though, crucially. Dragon wasn't up as well. So good play, but it may not actually be enough because now Zvene is going to be going down here. Teases making his way over. Emperor's Divide not up and available to him, though. As Rusty Sniper comes in with the True Shot barrage. Sarge catches out too with the Claw, and everybody's looking to turn it back around. This time, Lightside are on the back foot here. Tease is still lacking in that ultimate, but the health bars are a little bit low on London, and Bambi coming in on the flank. Remember, he's quite tanky here. Bear Tree about to gnaw out, and it looks like Lightside may just have to give up this dragon.
Yeah, but the longer they spend dueling for this, the more time it moves up on the map. But unfortunately, they're not able to extend the fighting any further. So I was about to note, that's also an objective bounty as well. But the kills found in mid lane. Sarge with the ulti.
Yeah, he's looking to finish up Moxox here, but Moxox is just too strong with that pigeon in his back pocket as well. Now, a bunch of kills picked over to Lightside. Sure, they're bleeding out on dragons, but it's a Cloud Soul. It's not the biggest for them. They're probably quite okay to hold on to this. Zvene is going to look for that second Q here with the bandage toss. Lands it, and Bambi can just slide in. Easy follow-up. Down he goes. Pop goes the Weasel. And Bambi will now turn his attention towards this Rift Herald.
And Lightside are trying to push their lead as much as possible. They know that they can't convert into Drake now. And also, Drake's a bit of a dream, given they've given the first 2 Drakes away. Combine that with it being Cloud, it's not the objective they're looking towards. Instead, pushing your gold lead as much as possible, looking for these Heralds, which they've already unlocked this mid turret as well. Bot lane turret's looking very low, and getting NBZ, who's been actually the one bleeder within the team within this early game, getting him out of that lane as quick as possible. So important to continuing their success in these fights.
I don't think Bear Tree's going to have quite the damage to be able to handle Tank Diana. God, I hate this, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but god damn it.
But for now, it's Assassin's being uninteractive.
Why is this a thing?
So even in this deficit, even in London United already being down, as eventually that gold will tick over 500 gold. Oh yeah, 500 gold. Or 5k? 5k, my bad. Okay, I'm still there. We're gonna see a semblance of how they can find a return within this game. Number one is through Wojo not really being super far behind. Mythic already picked up, and reminder that Sarge and Rusty, they were aware that by itemizing into the Essence Reaver and the Rylai's respectively, they're delaying their 2 item spikes or their big spike significantly until they got those mythics upgraded. That's their next opportunity to be looking towards, is when that Mirror Mana comes online, when the eventual Leandries or Everfrost, so be it, comes online. That's really when these champions can start to look for a fight again, and their fighting tools are many and frequent.
Oh, Wojo will find out Moxox here, but immediately has to jump away. Throws down the ultimate, but Bambi will catch them 2 out. Moxox has to pop the ultimate. Sarge is going to get a whole bunch of damage off, but it's not going to be enough. In comes Zvene with a flash, locking 3 down with the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Buzzy pops the stopwatch, jumps away to safety, and he's able to get away with it. So it's just the 1 kill picked up for Lightside and the tower.
And what a facilitation from Sven, repeatedly finding these engages. That time they're burning the flash to ensure they can at least follow up, look for the secondary kill is so important. And yeah, they're not really stepping off the trigger. They are repeatedly pushing this gold lead as much as possible, even with their scaling aspects being pretty potent. Azir late game is definitely a pretty strong threat, and combined with hopefully some healing reduction being board, it's very scary to be looking at LLS's late game and go, okay, no, they get us. Nah, they have plenty of options.
Well, here we are, 19 minutes into the game. The gold lead has just snowballed monumentally in the favor of Lightside. They have looked super good this game versus London United, and there were questions. London United were a team who, seemed to be on somewhat of an upward trajectory, but they are struggling right now. Remember, if London United lose this game, there is no hope for them to make it out from that relegation spot. They had to get 3 wins back-to-back here to be able to get out, and also relying on the likes of Guap to lose every game they are playing. Save for Lucent, actually, as well. But even so, the stars don't seem to be aligning for them at all here, as Lightside are currently just butchering them this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, they got gifted with a Cloud Soul as well. I think our luck on Dragon Souls kind of ran out by the end of today, which means that if they are able to even look for the opportunity, remember, they're on blue side, so you have the benefit of Wojo being able to look for steals if possible. But even so, Cloud Soul isn't exactly the team fight turner that you'd be expecting for around that 30-minute margin.
Not at all. As it looks like they're actually trying to jump onto Zvene here. Zvene has got that curse of the sad mummy. If he gets time to pop it, he wasn't able to do so. All the CCs land onto Mossox, and he may just be going down. Busy though, able to get the return around. Woljo is still dealing with Mossox, but the rest of his team are being slaughtered here. Beartree almost finds himself a cheeky turnaround, and actually Rusty Sniper snipes himself a kill. Woljo may have just done the hero's work, keeping Mossox out of this. Tiz will go down as well, and suddenly London just turned this fight around.
Absolutely phenomenal to see. They play off so well the key tools from Lightside, that signature one being the Amumu. Svene's done such a fantastic job of facilitating these early fights. We see another dive comes in. They're immediately going to pick off another two. Oh,
he got two.
Two for two.
Good.
That's pretty good. It's still not best, but they managed to find a trade, which means it's ultimately a 4 for 2 instead of a 2, or a 5 for 2, I think, instead of a 3 for 0. They get the shutdown onto Waldro as well, which is pretty important. This does lead straight into the Drake now, though, which means London United are only finding a successful team fight. And remember, this is picking apart. I'd really like to get a replay on the start of that fight, because we can actually see. Oh, yeah, we can't do that anymore. But
no replays today.
Picking off, yeah, exactly. Picking off Svene was so important, because he's been the main facilitator for this team to fire in the successful fight. Kill him first. He's very squishy. Oh,
I mean, the Emperor should reveal this, but it goes super quick
so
here.
Good.
With Azir, that first soldier goes down, and now the attack speed's there.
As well. Yep, they have the Sunfire
Empire.
Oh my god.
They just got away with murder.
Thievery on the Rift. That is so important as well, because suddenly London United found this turnaround. They find the kill, they look for a successful team fight, and this leads to a potential win condition, at least somewhat within this cloud draw. It immediately gets taken away from them again now, because this economy baron is going to be so fruitful for LLS as they get to unlock this top lane tier 1, and immediately, especially with this kind of a comp, with an Azir within your comp, your sieging and diving tools are so strong. I want to see Lightside pressure as much as possible within this timing window to really abuse the baron, abuse your Azir conditions, and look for as much gold as possible.
Well, it's going to be the 1-3-1 starting up here. BZ in the bot side. It looks like Lightside actually rotating out of the 1-3-1 and rotating multiple people towards the top side. They just want a Baron Siege as effective as possible, and they've got these big tools to work with. MBZ still has the teleport up and available. A good Curse of the Sad Mummy could be catastrophic here. Svene, he wasn't able to cast it last time. He just got completely denied any opportunity. Woljo coming in on the flank, and now BZ going actually into the face of Beartree, but I think he might lose this fight. He went way too greedy, misses the axe, and Beartree finds the solo kill. The Baron buff just gets completely stopped in its tracks.
Yeah, and you can see immediately Lightside realize the situation they're in. They start to reset. They're no longer in the pressure point, especially with Beartree having access to potential reset before this turret gets sieged again. That potential 5v4, they can't opt into it. And yeah, BZ has been struggling a little bit. This is a matchup that remember he picks the Olaf into, was comfortable to choose it as a potential buddy point, because that's where we see Olaf slotted in right now. And this is why he's fallen off a little bit. Even in this counter pick, even in this matchup we thought he'd do well in, the kiting potential for Beartree and the ability for him to navigate around Olaf's tools, especially when Olaf's stat checking isn't as strong now. So pivotal for that turnaround kill and for really relinquishing a lot of that Baron pressure.
Solid stuff there coming in. 23 minutes on the clock though. And Baron, not particularly well used, but at least they did get something. Yeah. They are still ahead in gold. They are still comfortable. They still got a 5-1 Zeri, which is going to be super big, and that even shroud actually onto the Amumu. Really big, actually. You forget that item exists, but Amumu is definitely a champion who uses that better than others. Yeah. Teases will be able to use this Baron to effectively take down a tower. That's one of those tier 2s as well, so extra gold over to him. And that's going to be a nice big injection of cash over to the Azir.
And we see Wardrobe trying to rotate down, potentially look for that pick off, but a little bit late on it, and I think LLS already also know this, and they're looking for it as well. The Moonfall.
Yeah, jumping in. That might just be Woljo going down. Svene turns it around. A Curse of the Sad Mummy. Woljo's able to survive. Nobody dies on London, although Sarge is incredibly low. Blinking health bars across the board. Can't quite land the W, but the health damage, the damage they've done to them is enough for them to be able to pressure up and take this inhibitor. I don't think they're going to be able to pressure for more, but a bot lane inhibitor is going to be huge.
Yeah, this is so important. I just want to know, by the way, that BZ died whilst this siege was happening in the bot side. That's so important. Now we're going to see London chase this down, try and extend this as much as possible, because the potential turnaround in him is within the top side. Bear Tree could potentially still look for that if they can keep stopping these resets.
Yeah, TZ does have teleport if needs be, but I don't think he's even going to get there in time. The Bear Tree is at least going to get an inhibitor tower, maybe more. They are going to get the reset off, so they should be able to defend, but Bear Tree is kind of schooling BZ here, and this is what we were saying. You know, he's picked up this Olaf, and it is way weaker than when it was first kind of returned to the top lane meta, and he's struggling for it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is the strength of Gnar. I think teams are slowly coined on to how powerful this pick can be just blind. We've seen it opted into more and more as the patches have progressed after durability patches, and Gnar's come in earlier and earlier. And at this point, you know, it comes in, was it first pick? I feel like it was first pick. And
I think it was, it was definitely first or second.
Yeah, so potent here as Bear Tree has piloted this very well and managed to get to a point where he's dealing, it's an Olaf. This is the champion I envision as the runner, the rundown, the duelist champion, and has handled it oh so well, and has made it so that Lightside are kind of stuck with a split pushing champion. You can't split push.
Well, they at least get themselves their first dragon as Teases has to flash away. BZ's going to get himself caught out by the claw and takes a whole lot of damage. Ooh, Rusty Sniper also losing a lot as Bear Tree is in that transformation state, and Lightside actually getting chunked out very heavily here, but using that tower to do a whole bunch of work and hold this siege for themselves. They still got an area of safety as another claw does land, but it's onto the tanky Bambi here. God, tanky Diana, I can't believe I'm saying those words. Is down goes the tier 2 tower in the mid lane, and they might continue to siege here, but it looks like they just want to back off and get set up for this Baron.
So this is the best way they can really extend their economy as much as possible, is clear through the jungle, get their initial vision down again to see exactly where Buzzy and the rest of his team are going to be pathing through, to hopefully waste as much of their time so that when they get on reset for Baron again, they can continue to clear through that because of this inhib that's been unlocked in the bot side. But yeah, they've managed to handle, it seems like Lightside have come up with a solution for this now, and it's just keep this bot wave shoved. Look for this inhib repeat if possible as well, and it can really slow down how much effect Bear Tree is going to have on the map.
Well, Bear Tree now has actually moved over to the bot side, and he will be shoving it into these super waves, but wants to turn his attention towards this tower. It's kind of on BZ to make sure that he just holds this wave. His job isn't to duel Gnar, his job is just to hold now, because he is
Rusty
getting absolutely slammed in these fights. As Rusty does need to be careful here. Svenne goes in for the flash, catches them out. They got the moonfall. They've got the follow-up to keep Svenne locked in place. Bear Tree's teleported into the fight, but the fight is already gone so in favor of Lightside. London United are going to lose Sarge, a double kill into a double shuffle. Bear Tree hits no one with the slam. Mossox will go for another kill. Picked up by Triz. A triple kill for Mossox. Make it a quadra. Lightside absolutely butcher London once again.
And it looked like almost so close. What a turnaround from London United to get Bear Tree on the flank to kill the initial setup from Lightside. But the carries stayed alive, and what carries to live longer than Azir and Zeri, the kings and the king and queen of long fight DPS. They find it there oh so perfectly, with death timers on the 5 seconds and above. Inhib at minimum, if not maybe a little bit more.
I don't think they're going to commit for more without the rest of the team. So just going to take this inhibitor. Bot lane inhibitor will be respawning at some point fairly soon, though. So it's only a marginal amount of pressure in 2 lanes. And Baron's up. Everybody back on Lightside is up. Resets are probably just going to come in and look at all the stopwatches now picked up by the side of Lightside. Teases. Wow. Mossox and Bambi all got those stopwatches up and available. And Lightside, they're just going to start this Baron up. They don't spot out that ward, actually, but I don't think there's going to be any answer in time as Svenne makes his way over, and Baron is just liquefied. True shot was close to stealing it away, but it looks like they're not going to be able to get it. Svenne, I don't think you're going to be able to Hex Flash out of this one, friend, but he's just going to come in with a Curse of the Sad Mummy and just be a nuisance.
Yep, I mean, he's going to be paired with the team anyway, so losing him isn't that bad. They lose the timer, a little 30-second timer where they could maybe pressure up a little bit more, but this is going to be so instrumental in looking to repeat unlock that inhibitor bot side. Hopefully we'll see resets as well as teasers moving towards bot side to unlock this inhibitor again, because that's really going to be instrumental in unlocking the top lane tier 2, as well as maybe looking for a third inhib. And we know how powerful triple inhib can be. This is the real objective of LLS now, is unlocking that third inhib to set up their proper win condition, which is that slow, prolonged siege with the Azir, to get this huge wave shove in, to maybe look to end through that kind of means, forcing the fight from London United on a bad situation.
Well, it looks like the rotation is towards this top side of the map. There's a large wave build up on the bot side, so Lightside aren't really gonna be able to use that for a long time. That wave is somewhat redundant to them, but I think quite okay keeping the pressure up. 4 members here on the bot side, and London United, Beartree actually is about to gnaw out. That could be big as the True Shot Barrage comes down, and Beartree on the flank. They spotted him out on the ward, but about to gnaw out means he is a real threat. Zvene has that Curse of the Sad Mummy up again, though, and these 2 cannon minions slowly chipping away at health bars of both the players and the towers here. Beartree, that gnaw bar slowly evaporating somewhat, and Zvene holding off in the wings. Curse ready to go down at any moment.
There's always this balancing act of when the Gnar looks to get really close to that Mega, it's whether or not there's poke to push him over the edge when he's not ready to do so. And they had the opportunity there. They have Moxox and teasers on the upgrades, but it's here. The Mega Gnar's approaching.
Yeah, they're looking for it. There we go. 5-man Curse of the Sad Money into the 5-man Moonfall. 4-man Shuffle. It is an absolute obliteration of London United. Once again, they are caught out by everything, but Mosox maybe bit off more than he can chew. Has to stopwatch. Zvene trying to keep him alive. The snipe comes in from Rusty Sniper. A triple kill on the Ezreal. Lightside just crumble.
Where is Bambi going? This should be an inhibitor here. They have the mid wave shoved in as well as this top side. They can immediately look for it. Nonetheless, it clears through the jungle instead, and ultimately in favor of them, but just barely, because they're unable to get anything more from this fight here. So even though the fight was very climactic, we saw a multitude of combos on top of each other. Lightside are still looking for their next opportunity to try and close out this game, and it looks like right now they've got their eyes set on the dragon.
I mean, the big problem they're having is, time and time again, Woljo is just on top of Mosox. Mosox isn't able to be there on the DPS. 5-man Moonfall, 5-man Curse of Sad Mummy, yeah, but the shuffle only hits 4 because the monkey is already in the business of the Zeri. And it just means that twice now we've seen Mosox not being able to do anything. And every fight London have won is because Woljo has dealt with Mosox and stopped him from being able to play.
And this is the downside of looking in this Amumu instead of what we normally see paired up with the Zeri, which would be an Enchantress. We see the Lulu, the Yuumi, stuff like this would be slotted in instead, because you get to support your Zeri, and especially once we hit 4 or 5 items, it's so important that she is there for team fights to actually play her DPS role, because otherwise she ends up getting pulled out. And especially with this kind of a comp, with the tank Diana coming in with this Demonic Embrace combo build, you have 2 damage threats. As soon as that Zeri is gone, a third of your damage more is just disappears.
And I mean, that's just a failed dive again. I failed siege again, and now it's costing them heavily. They're trying to deal with Woljo. They're able to keep him in place for just a little bit longer. If he lands this may just be the end of the monkey. They caught him out. Woljo throws down the Cyclone, but this time, Mosox has been uninhibited. They trade out 1-for-1, but support for jungler is huge in favor of Lightside.
Now they have the 4-man siege compared to 4-man down on the other side. Ultimates burnt by and large on the side of London. They still have the Moonfall. They still have the Emperor's Divide. Can they look for more when they try and siege this inhibitor?
They want to definitely pick up at least 2 inhibitors here. 1 will fall very quickly. A lot of damage coming in, as that was going to be the Beartree knockback as Bambi's jumped into the middle of everyone, but Beartree trying to jump away. Bambi can't finish up another kill, so he does go down, but they trade out 1-for-1. Ezreal and Gnar are going to go down, but they've still got the Zeri, they've still got the Azir, they've got the waves to work with, and actually there is a wave topside as well, so they could go for the 3rd inhibitor, but they're a little bit hesitant to do so. Sarge doing a lot of work here, and Lightside are definitely playing a little bit reserved.
Yeah, I think it's the scariness of this Swain now. Having access to that Demonic Ascension every single fight means that Tiziz is playing on the edge of the line at every point within these fights, because as soon as that demonic ascension gets forced, he has to play so far back, and if you don't have access to the ultimate, and yeah, so even through that siege, this top lane turret remains alive, but they're looking for the fight again. Wojo's caught out.
I don't think he's going to be able to survive this one. He's caught in place. Beezy takes him down, and again, they just pick on the monkey, and that's how they win these games. This is how they win these fights. Baron going to be up in 20 seconds. Time, True Shot Barrage, a little bit too early on that one, to be honest, and this should just be Lightsides.
Yep, indeed. Jungler down, no contestation point. They're also on blue side. It's so difficult, and now we're really looking for Lightside. Once this Baron's been picked up, this is hopefully, I keep saying it, this time they're going to have the opportunity to unlock this top lane turret and maybe look for this triple inhib and start this triple siege coming in. And oh my god, look at the damage. Really representative of how they're able to fight some of these fights, because the amount of damage that Azir and Zarya are able to pump out on 4 items and beyond is just so big.
Okay, big pickups here. Moxox has now built the GA, which means that even if Wojo jumps on him, there's a big amount of denial. You got the stopwatch on Teases and Bambi. So Wojo now starting to kind of move into a level of relevance, because Moxox can just play these fights really aggressive with the rest of his team, get taken out by the monkey, and then just mop up when he's got that revive off. He's also got the shield bow as well. He's very stacked right now. And Lightside, if they can't close with this Baron, I have some serious concerns to how they're going to fare in the playoffs.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, this team has been playing, had a bit of a loss streak, but right now they're looking very strong. They're late gamed up with an Azir and a Zeri as well, trying to unlock this final inhibitor. This is their fight to win at this point.
Yeah, it really is. It's going to have to be one hell of a misplay by them to lose out on this game. Teases just spotting out everybody there, making sure the mid wave gets pushed in, and with the threats on multiple waves, they're not syncing up their waves though. It's a little bit of a sloppy one on that front. There's a large wave bot side though, so as long as they don't get caught out before that crashes, that's the big thing. Beartree actually has gnawed out. Beartree doesn't have flash though, so I don't think he's going to be able to get in close enough, and that might just be it, as Teaser is able to jump away. Nars about to time out, and this Baron now should get used pretty effectively at this point. This next wave is the big one. Look at bot side. A massive wave has jumped in. Teases has gone golden. Bambi trying to see if he can save the day. Teases, Emperor's divides away. He fails on the blast cone, but it doesn't matter because everybody else is joining in. Teases is just going to buy time. The monkey can't get onto him. And they're in the base. They're going to be looking to close this one out. Zvene could find that really big opportunity as the teleport's coming in. Teases is joining back up to the rest of the team. In goes Zvene. In goes the
it's huge.
Down goes London. They've already found themselves a kill onto the Amumu, but down goes the Naras. Bambi getting locked down in place. Sarge is going so low. Wojo can't hold on. The snipe from Moxox onto the back line. He finds himself a double, make it a triple, and that's going to be the pace. 37 minutes on the clock. Lightside close out in our closest game of the day.
And it looks so scary for both teams. Either side, back and forth. We see Lightside giving up pressure, using the Baron, unable to unlock this third inhib. And that was really the play. We saw them finally finding that win there. But instead, a miscalculation comes in clutch to actually seal them the deal, as they manage to infiltrate the base and look to siege these turrets. And Zvene shout to Zvene, who even through the myriad of problems that team had in making sure that they were finding the security to continually win fights and to actually finish the game, he was always on point with finding these multi-man curse of the sad mummies to secure them successful fights when it was really important.
A very elongated game there for the side of Lightside, but they were able to come out the victors of that game. We're going to throw ourselves to a break, and then when we're back, we'll actually have one of the members of London United standing by for an interview.